Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Post Game Padres. This is the preseason place for all Friar faithful. I am your host Dom, and today we are going to be talking about none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, William El Gallo Myers. Wil Myers, one of the most polarizing figures in all of Friar fandom. You either absolutely love him or you absolutely hate him. Today we're going to be talking about the trials and tribulations of Wil Myers, the ups and downs of his career, what caused the ups and downs of his career, and what we can expect from him going forward. All of that and more coming up next. Will. Where do I even begin? William Bradford Myers, born December 10th, 1990, only uses one L in his name. He says he doesn't know how it started, he's just done it since a young age and kind of just stuck with it. During his tenure with the Padres, he really has become a beloved player with the team and, more importantly, a beloved meme. If you check Padres Twitter, Padres Instagram, Padres Reddit, anything Padres, you're gonna find dank Wil Myers memes. Most of them will be about his helmet or hat hair that is a thing of legend, earning him the nickname El Gallo, which means the rooster for all my non-Spanish speakers out there. But let's go back to the genesis of Wil Myers' career. He broke onto the scene in 2012, hitting 37 home runs in AAA and AA, making him one of the top prospects in the Royals organization. He was subsequently traded to the Rays for a guy that Padres fans may be familiar with, James Shields. He made his MLB debut in 2013 and was named AL Rookie of the Year, beating out teammate Chris Archer, although he didn't join the team until the 70th game. His 2014 season will be derailed by injury after he collided with Desmond Jennings while attempting to catch a fly ball. He would miss significant time during the season. That offseason, he would be traded to the San Diego Padres in a ginormous 10-player deal that sent Wil Myers, Ryan Hannigan, and Jose Castillo to the Padres, sent Steven Souza, Travis Ott, Jake Bowers, Bert Smith, Rene Rivera to the Rays, and sent Joe Ross and Trey Turner to the Nationals in an offseason that was known as Prellerpalooza, something Padres fans have become very accustomed to. Unfortunately, just 2 months into his time as a Padre, Wil would go down to injury and would miss basically the entirety of the season. In 2016, he would be healthy for a full season and have a semi-bounce back year. He would hit .259, slug .461, have an OPS of .797, OPS plus of .115, and that would earn him a spot as the ambassador of the All-Star Game that was hosted in San Diego. That offseason, he would get a 6-year, $83 million contract, which was the largest and richest in Padres franchise history at the time. 2017 came along and Wil was just bad, really. He started the season off really good. He hit a cycle, only the second in Padres history, on April 10th. But really, that was it. 2018 was more of the same. From the outside, it looked like he was just turning into one of the old San Diego stars, someone who took advantage of the perfect climate, the laid-back vibe of the city, gets a huge payday, and disappears off into the sunset. Sometimes he would even get booed during his plate appearances. But I feel like in order to understand all of this, we have to put it into context. The Chargers had just left the city, and the Padres were desperate to monopolize the San Diego sports market, where they had basically been irrelevant for the past decade and a half, unless you're one of the real Friar faithful. And with the signing of Myers, it basically made him not only the face of the franchise, but furthermore, the face of San Diego sports. And that pressure for someone who is notably introverted and shy can be a lot. If you go back and listen to some of the press conferences from Padres of old, and heck, even this Padres team right now, almost everybody will say Wil Myers is more of a lead by example type of guy. He's not going to stand up in front of the clubhouse and make some fancy speech. He's going to go about his work, do his thing, and go home. And that's perfectly fine. But when you try to put someone like that in front of the spotlight, they can get a lot of things going on inside that brain of theirs. And that's exactly what I think happened. And it wasn't made any better when, right before the season started, former owner of the Padres, Ron Fowler, told ESPN, Wil Myers has a lot of abilities, but frankly, he does not want to be a leader in the clubhouse. It's just not in his DNA. Wil Myers responded in typical Wil Myers fashion and said, well, it's true, and I let it go. Ron is a very honest guy, doesn't care about people's feelings, and tells it like it is. That's how I was raised, and that's how my dad was. And if we're psychoanalyzing Wil, this statement means a lot. That's how my dad was, didn't care about your feelings, told it like it is. That could be a lot of things that you haven't really gone through in your childhood. And that could be why he went to a sports psychologist in 2018. He said in a press conference he feels like he wasn't fighting through his struggles mentally. He always had the physical tools, but the mental just wasn't there. And in a game where it's 90% mental, that can be cancerous for a big leaguer. Even adding that he didn't have any number goals for the season, he just wanted to have a great mindset. From all of this research that I've done on Wil Myers, he seems very mature and very introspective. He even welcomed the signing of Eric Hosmer more than anybody on the team, even gave up his spot at first base so that Hosmer could be a leader in the clubhouse that he knew the Padres needed. Moving to third base when Hos got there, and then moving to right field when Manny got there. And then finally, 2020 happens. He didn't have to be the face of the franchise that he never wanted to be. We had stars like Hos, Manny, Toddy, Lamet. He could just go into the background, do his work, and go home. What he wanted to do since the beginning. And that made exponential difference in his gameplay. He also credited working with Padres hitting coach Damian Easley on his approach and mechanics. Also, Tony Womack working on things to tweak his hitting stance. And boom, finally, you get it. You have a team where Wil Myers can flourish. Wil is in the best mind state, and he has the best season of his career. And I mean, Wil Myers was the best hitter on the team last year. And when you put that into perspective of all of the names that the Padres have on their squad, and Wil Myers is statistically the best hitter, that's frightening for me. That's frightening for any opposing team. That Wil Myers is going to be batting 5th and 6th, but he's the best person. So you have to get through Manny, Hos, Toddy, Crony, all of these people, and they're just as dangerous. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I don't know about Wil, but there's two distinct moments that are the highlight of the 2020 season. The first one is the home run that sent us to the postseason. It clinched it for us. How glorious that the longest tenured Padre would be the one to send us to the playoffs. The one who was here for the entire rebuild would be the one to push us over that jump. And second, the 2 home runs, him and Tatis being the first teammates with 2 home runs in a postseason game since Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. Now, I know it's hard to get lost behind all of the amazing names on our squad and all of the amazing things that our team is doing, but ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to Wil Myers, because when that man goes, the San Diego Padres go with him. And if we're being honest, most of his career he's been injured or dealing with a lot of stuff off field. Now he's barely coming to his own. He fixed a couple of things in his swing, and I think it's on the up and up for Wil Myers. We're just going to start to see him tap into the potential that he knows he has, that ownership knows he has, and the team knows he has. And now it's time, lastly, for the fans to know it.